The mysterious neighbor. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon when Alex first noticed the house across the street. It had always been there, old and worn with ivy climbing up its brick walls. But something was different about it that day. The house looked alive. The curtains fluttered as if someone were watching. The once dark, closed windows now seemed to gleam in the fading sunlight. Alex, a 25-year-old university student, had just moved to the neighborhood a month ago. He had little interest in the houses around him, especially that one. No one ever seemed to go in or out. But today, it caught his attention. There was something eerie yet intriguing about it, and for the first time, Alex felt the urge to learn more. His curiosity grew when he heard whispers from his neighbors. They said no one had lived in the house for years. Haunted, they called it. But Alex didn't believe in such things. He shrugged off the thought, but the idea of someone living there, unseen, unknown, stayed in his mind. A few days later, Alex walked past the house again, this time on his way to the grocery store. The same feeling crept up his spine. He stopped, staring at the house, wondering if it was just his imagination. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw a shadow move behind the curtains. Someone was there. Alex's heart raced. Could it be the mysterious neighbor the locals whispered about? Or was it just his mind playing tricks? Determined to find out, he decided to knock on the door. After all, what was the harm in a little curiosity? He crossed the street, feeling a strange mix of fear and excitement. The air seemed colder as he approached the front door, and the closer he got, the more he hesitated. Still, his curiosity pushed him forward. With a deep breath, Alex raised his hand and knocked 3 times. There was no answer. He waited for what felt like hours, but in reality, only a few seconds had passed. He knocked again, a little harder this time. The door creaked open slowly, as if someone had been waiting for him. "Hello?" Alex called, his voice barely louder than a whisper. No response. He glanced around, unsure of whether to go in or walk away. His curiosity won. He stepped inside, careful not to make any noise. The inside of the house was as eerie as the outside. Dust covered every surface, and the air smelled stale, as though it hadn't been touched by fresh air in years. The furniture was old, covered with sheets, and the only light came from the dim rays of sunlight filtering through the windows. Suddenly, Alex heard footsteps upstairs. He froze. Someone, or something, was definitely in the house. "Is anyone there?" he called out, his voice trembling. The footsteps stopped. There was silence again, but it wasn't the peaceful kind. It was the kind that made the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Against his better judgment, Alex decided to go upstairs. The stairs creaked under his weight, each step louder than the last. His heart pounded in his chest as he reached the top. There were 3 doors, all closed. The footsteps had come from the farthest one. Alex took a deep breath and walked towards it, his mind racing with questions. Who was in this house? Why were they hiding? He reached the door and slowly turned the handle. It opened with a long, slow creak. Inside the room, Alex found something he hadn't expected, a woman, standing by the window, staring outside. She was young, around his age, with long dark hair and a pale face. She didn't seem surprised to see him, as if she had been expecting him all along. "Who are you?" Alex asked, his voice barely a whisper. The woman turned slowly, her eyes locking onto his. "You've come," she said, her voice soft but unsettling. "I knew you would." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "What do you mean? Who are you?" The woman smiled faintly. "This house, it belongs to me. It's been waiting for someone like you." "Someone like me? I don't understand." "You will. Come closer." Against every instinct telling him to leave, Alex stepped forward. The woman gestured to a small table in the corner of the room. On it was an old, dusty book. She handed it to him, her eyes never leaving his. "Read it," she said. "It will explain everything." Alex took the book, feeling its weight in his hands. He opened it to the first page, but before he could start reading, the room grew colder. The woman stepped back, her figure beginning to fade. "What's happening?" Alex asked, panic rising in his chest. "This is your story now," she whispered before disappearing completely. Alex blinked, and suddenly, he was no longer in the house. He found himself back in his apartment, the book still in his hands. The room was dark, the only light coming from a flickering lamp in the corner. He sat down, heart still racing, and opened the book again. As he began to read, the words on the page started to shift and change, almost as if they were alive. The story was about him, about his curiosity, his visit to the house, and his encounter with the mysterious woman. But there was more. The story continued beyond what had just happened. It described events that hadn't occurred yet, things that Alex had not yet experienced. According to the book, he was about to uncover a secret that had been hidden for decades. The next morning, Alex returned to the house, determined to find out the truth. But when he arrived, it was gone. The house had vanished, leaving nothing but an empty lot. Confused and shaken, Alex opened the book once more, hoping for answers. But this time, the pages were blank. His story was still being written. Alex never spoke of the house again, but he couldn't escape the feeling that his life had been altered in ways he didn't fully understand. The book remained with him, its blank pages a constant reminder that sometimes, curiosity leads to mysteries that can never be fully solved. Now let's learn some vocabulary from this story. Curiosity. Meaning, a strong desire to know or learn something. Eerie. Meaning, strange and frightening. Whisper. Meaning, to speak very softly. Tremble. Meaning, to shake involuntarily. Creak. Meaning, a long, high-pitched sound, especially when something is old or not often used. Pale. Meaning, having little color in the face, often due to fear or illness. Instinct. Meaning, a natural or intuitive way of thinking or acting. Cryptic. Meaning, mysterious or obscure. Flicker. Meaning, a light that shines unsteadily. Unveil. Meaning, to reveal or make something known. Thank you for joining me on this mysterious journey. If you enjoyed this story and learned something new, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more exciting stories that help you improve your English. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And tell me in the comments, what do you think happened to the house? Let's keep the mystery going.